Our mediocre rebuilding season, our transition season after Big Ben is finally over, and I honestly could not be any happier. And hey, we finished on a high note, which is what I wanted. We beat the Cleveland Shitstains 28-14. This is, for as crazy as it's gonna sound, this is literally our first win by at least 13 points in over 2 fucking years, because even when we win, where we always get complacent, we always find ways to keep it close. But this time, for the first time in over 2 calendar years, we actually get a win that was actually in some sort of blowout fashion at all. So, and even in this win, I mean, it was very sloppy. I was not impressed with a lot of things in this one. I mean, there was a bunch of fuckery that went on early in this game, such as Najee Harris's fumble at the goal line, trying to jump over. I mean, that pissed me the fuck off. It really did. And Najee, look. You've put together a really good second half of the season, and you proved me wrong when I labeled you a bust. But come on, dude, like, that fumble cannot happen. You gotta hang on to that ball and cross it over the goal line. Seriously. And now, of course, before that, I understand that there was a clear as day Najee touchdown that Tomlin should have challenged, but for some reason he didn't. And of course, that's what cost us 7 points there on our first drive, which was a damn good drive too. And then, of course, there was a near fumble by Deontay Johnson, which they ruled it incomplete. But if you ask me, I don't know. I mean, that one looked kind of close, and it probably should have been ruled a fumble. But it is what it is. But either way, like, the first half of this game pissed me the fuck off, with the exception of the last probably with the exception of the last 45 seconds in the second quarter where Kenny Pickett threw that touchdown to George Pickens. But other than that, the first half of this game pissed me the fuck off. Now, of course, in the second half, things started to improve. I mean, we were able to keep our 1-2 punch run attack going with Najee Harris and Jaylen Warren. And now, I will say this though, Kenny Pickett did not play good, okay? He really didn't. He had a lot of overthrows. He was forcing passes into tight-ass coverage. I mean, you can't be doing that, dude. I mean, look, Kenny, you've shown that you have the potential to be a really good quarterback and all throughout this season, and I've liked a lot of the things that I saw from you. I really did. But still, in this game, it was definitely not Kenny Pickett's best game at all. He was very inconsistent. He was off target quite a bit. And now of course, there were a couple of bullshit drops by Deontay Johnson, who I have grown to hate pretty much. And one of the drops that Deontay Johnson had was a fucking check down. Like, how the fuck do you drop a pass that goes right through your hands when it is a fucking check down? It's one thing when you drop a deep throw that goes to you. It's one thing to drop a pass like that. It's one thing to drop a bullet pass. Okay? It's one thing to drop a pass to where it was just great coverage by the defender. But when you drop a fucking check down, like, I'm sorry, Deontay Johnson has to be gone. I am completely done with him. You guys know, those who have watched me, you guys know that I do not like Deontay Johnson. Those that have even seen my comments in other Steelers fans' channels, like the Steel Twins and Steel Sermon and all those other guys, they know that I don't like Deontay. I don't. The guy is a bum. This is who all the 15, 16, and 17-year-olds in my fan base hype up as this elite wide receiver. Come on. This guy is one of the worst wide receivers in football. And yes, I said it. Deontay Johnson is one of the worst wide receivers in the NFL. Period, point blank. And I'm getting tired of people in the media trying to sugarcoat him and say that he's underrated. Like, fuck out of here. He is overrated. How can he be underrated when he didn't even catch a touchdown all season? How? And you can say what you want about Matt Canada's shitty play calling, and look, Matt Canada sucks, we all know that. But there were times where Deontay Johnson had multiple touchdowns throughout the year go right through his hands in the end zone. Because his bum ass has butterfingers, bricks for hands. I mean, the guy is a fucking scrub. And it's like, outside of George Pickens, I mean, the rest of our receivers, including scrub-ass Deontay Johnson, I mean, our receivers outside of Pickens are absolutely useless. In this game, even though it was a good win, it showed it. And obviously, you know, we do have a lot of holes to fill this off season. I'm gonna have a video on our current state, like probably 2 or 3 days from now, not entirely sure. But yeah, like this game in some sort of way really did piss me off, even though we won by 2 touchdowns. Now, as far as the defense went, I mean, they did have a couple of shitty blown coverages. Now, yes, they did get to Deshaun Watson a lot. They did sack him a lot, but they also allowed him to get some good scrambles in from time to time and make completions and throws on the run. And on top of it, like, now I know the Browns, they didn't run the ball with Nick Chubb all that much. But the times that they did, Nick Chubb was gashing us. And people want to say that Myles Garrett is the Browns' best player. Like, if you ask me, I think it's Nick Chubb. Because he is the Browns' energy source. He really is. And the times that the Browns ran the ball with him, we could not stop him. And now, yes, the secondary, they did get they did get a couple of interceptions on Deshaun Watson. They did. But both of those throws were kind of give-me's. I mean, they were just throwaways, basically. So, I mean, those are pretty much my thoughts on our season finale home victory against the Cleveland Shitstains. It was another ugly win, even with the fact that it was based off of point differential, our best win of the season. But of course, I mean, when do we not beat the Browns in Pittsburgh? Yeah, you know, they'll sneak up some wins against us in Cleveland, and of course they had their fluke wildcard win. But I mean, in the end, I knew we were gonna win this game, but I don't know, it still wasn't the best win. But whatever, I'll take it. I mean, we had a strong finish, which is what I'm happy about. And if you're wondering if I'm disappointed that we missed the playoffs, no, I'm not. Because at the end of the day, this team had no business being in the playoffs in the first place. Because even if we did make the playoffs, because even if the Dolphins lost to the Jets, I mean, we would have just got blown the fuck out in the first round. It would basically be a repeat of Week 5 against the Bills again. I mean, the Bills would have just steamrolled the fuck out of us if we got in as a 7th seed. So Tomlin avoids his first losing season once again. 16 years going, no losing season. I will give Tomlin some credit for this turnaround from 2-6 and then going 7-2 after the bye week. with a team like this that is in a rebuilding stage, I'll say that's pretty good. So it's on to the off season. We finished 9-8, no losing season in 20 years. But of course, what I want to see this team do is rebuild back to Super Bowl contention. Though it's gonna take a little bit of time, maybe even a while. Who the hell knows? But if we can't make the playoffs, at least the Pew-Steakland Deflatriots didn't make it. The Patriots lose. The Bums allowed, 2 kickoff returns for a touchdown? So yeah, at least the Patriots not only missed the playoffs, but they had their second losing season in 3 years. And honestly, Belichick should just simply retire. He should. But that's all I gotta say for this video, man. I'm out, and I'll have my video on the state of the Steelers, and of course my NFL wildcard picks probably Friday. I'm out. Bye bye.